guys can't go in there at all right now. No, don't park.
That's still up in the air. We still don't know. We're waiting to get some answers from one or two of the lieutenants out here from one of the agencies.
My name is Frank Alonso, spelled F-R-A-N-K, Gonzalez, G-O-N-C-A-L-C, and Alonso is A-L-O-N-S-O.
Okay.
And
what did you see out here?
I was just chilling right here and I just heard some gunshots. And I saw a bunch of cops right now. I just came like super fast. And then there was like this lady over there. And they grabbed her and arrested her and put her in the back of the car.
Okay, and she's still in the back of the car, huh?
Yeah, she's still in the back of the car.
Okay, and then they closed off the whole road?
Yeah, they closed this one and the next couple of roads and streets.
And you have no idea what happened?
Nah, I just heard like a gunshot.
Just heard 3 gunshots?
Yeah, like
Wow, okay.
Lieutenant Todd Griffin, T-O-D-D, last name G-R-I-F-F-I-N. I'm with the San Diego Police Department Homicide Unit.
Okay, and so where are we and what has transpired here?
Well, we're on the 4300 Altadena, a block of Altadena Avenue here in the city of San Diego. San Diego PD was called to the scene to investigate an officer-involved shooting involving a detective from the La Mesa Police Department at approximately about 7 p.m. this evening is when the events began.
Okay, and then just kind of walk through what.
Sure. The reason for the officers from the allied agencies were here is that they were searching for a fugitive, a wanted suspect from the murder that occurred at the Burlington Coat Factory earlier this week. He is a known suspect to them. Probable cause did exist for his arrest. They were in the area to look for him and place him under arrest if possible. They did in fact see him on the street. One of the officers got out of his vehicle to confront the suspect, ordered him to the ground, attempted to take him into custody. The suspect did not comply and instead fled on foot. After a very short initial foot pursuit, one of the detectives and the suspect confronted one another. At that point, the detective fired several rounds at the suspect. The rounds did not hit the suspect, and the suspect again took off on foot from there in an attempt to evade arrest. After a short, I'd say approximately 30-second to a minute foot chase after that, he was in fact taken into custody by detectives from the task force. He's under arrest right now for the homicide for the Burlington Coat Factory, and we are now working in conjunction with La Mesa PD on coordinating our 2 investigations. I was going to say again, San Diego PD is not attached to the task force or to tonight's operation involving the arrest. The only reason we are here is to investigate the officer-involved shooting and involving the detectives who were here as part of the task force. Our investigations are separate.
The suspect, what was he doing when he was spotted here? Was he walking down the street?
Yeah, my understanding of it was he was walking down the street southbound on 43rd, or excuse me, southbound on Altadena when they first spotted him.
Was he alone or?
I don't have that information.
Were any weapons or anything like that found on him, or
I can't speak to that. Correct. That would be more in line with the La Mesa's investigation, and I don't want to speak to that at this point. I'll let them do that.
Who
Their
was the woman
request.
in the car?
She was an arrest that was related to the events of tonight, but not to the events of the original homicide.
Gotcha. So we have one murder suspect in custody related to the Burlington Coat Factory.
Correct. And La Mesa PD did ask me to convey that now all suspects from their homicide are in custody as of tonight.
All suspects. So it's the one suspect they were searching for, and that was the one.
That is my understanding.
Okay, one suspect only. Okay.
Only one, the male.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
The suspect was the suspect taken into custody tonight. That's related to the Burlington Coat Factory homicide. Is 30 years old.
30 years old?
Yes.
Did La Mesa say so they have 2 suspects in custody now?
They have 2 suspects in custody tonight. One of them, the male who the officer fired rounds at, was the suspect who was involved in the original homicide, which brought them here in the first place tonight.
And the other suspect was taken into custody tonight as well?
The female was, my understanding of it is that her arrest is related to the events that happened this evening, not related to the events that happened at the Burlington Coat Factory.
And no injuries to officers or the suspect?
That's correct. No injuries to the officers, no injuries to the suspect.
Do you know how many rounds were fired?
All I'm told is that there are several. We have our laboratory personnel are out here right now in the process of examining the scene and collecting evidence.
And you said it was a detective that ordered the suspect to the ground?
A detective from the Mesa Police Department, correct.
Was this a part of a task force? Because we saw Sheriff, La Mesa, and San Diego PD here.
Correct.
Fugitive task force?
Excuse me?
Was it a fugitive task force?
I'm not quite sure what their main focus is. They're kind of a catch-all group who performs a lot of functions, frankly. And just to be clear, San Diego PD was not a member of that task force. So our 2 investigations are completely separate.